So today iPhone 17 is all over our screens. Sky, 3, Vodafone, and even Facebook are all sending ads to your phone saying iPhone 17 Pro and the new Air is available for purchase. In fact, they even slap you with the only £22.50 a month right into your face like it's some pocket change. And you may think actually it's more money because obviously you're looking at the £22.50. But now I need us to take a look at it and think of it differently, right? I took time to watch the entire presentation, and one thing that I always ask myself is, why is that Apple doesn't want to exhaust all the technology they have? We all know that they can make a flying phone, probably a phone that can charge other phones, and they won't. The reason is because it doesn't make their business boom. They give you bits and pieces by chunk sizes so that you get to fall for the biggest scam. And I know I call it a scam because it's a trick. And ladies and gentlemen, this trick is just called business. And you're either a victim of business or you're actually riding with the flow or being in charge of your life. See this, probably you don't play games, but let's talk about one of the biggest Microsoft products, Call of Duty. For years, this game has demanded enormous storage for space to run. At some point, Warzone was 126 gigabytes, but recently they reduced it to 25 gigabytes. Nothing has changed. The graphics, the gameplay are still the same. Now, this isn't the scam part, but this proves that technology makes storage smaller, more efficient, and lighter, yet companies convince us that we always need to buy more. I mean, do you remember when computers were the size of a room? And slowly they became smaller and smaller until we've got the smallest devices that still run on big memory. The same technology is actually available, smaller sizes, yet big and enormous and effective performance. Now, I spent the last 2 years paying for 1 terabyte of iCloud storage, and I didn't even pay attention to my direct debits. Apple already took like 215.76 of my money. Only a few months did I start auditing my account, and I was shocked. See, these subscriptions are designed to feel like little payments. They don't really hurt your pocket, but over time, you drain them quietly. And here's the kicker though. Smartphones launch with 128 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, and 512 gigabytes. And you wonder, is it lack of technology or is it some scheme? Well, it is a scheme. And the more the storage, the more the price. And the lesser the storage, the more the price you pay for upgrading your iCloud. The irony, right? But why are they not just giving us enough space to download and store whatever we want? Or they may actually give you the bigger storage, but at the end of the day, the amount of space some applications will take will actually make you buy more space eventually. Because to them, that's not profitable to give you a 2 terabyte or a 5 terabyte phone. On top of the 1,400 that you paid for the phone, you are going to be paying again for storage, for music, for applications, and of course your internet access. It's a never-ending amount of paying and paying always to the same companies. But why is this happening? There is what they call the psychology of manipulation. Now, these days, social media is designed so cleverly that you don't even realize that you're being manipulated. You pick up your phone, you open Facebook, and suddenly a picture of a camping tent pops up from Temu. Boom, you buy it. But wait a minute. When was the last time you actually went camping? Let's be fair. Or have you ever gone for camping, but you find yourself buying things because you simply have money? This is called impulse spending. And slowly you start hoarding, building endless amounts of stuff that doesn't add real value to your life. Meanwhile, the companies are selling you stuff that don't matter to probably them and you. And they're building their wealth, not you. I mean, think of it for a second. If the owner of Apple, the CEO right now, the child says, oh, we have increased our fees, you know what he thinks? He will say, okay, fine. So if the school has actually increased its fees, it means someone has to pay for it. And it's just you, probably you're in Africa, or you are somewhere in India or in Madagascar, and someone is thinking, okay, he is going to pay for my child's fees because you're susceptible to it. So what then should we do instead? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us are renting our lifestyles through subscriptions, consumer debt. We are buying liabilities and not assets. But the real way forward is not to buy iPhones, but to invest into iPhones. I mean, okay, let's try to make the maths work, or they call it mathing, right? So instead of paying £22.50 a month, imagine if you put the same amount of money into an index fund or an ETF. Over 10 years, you could grow to £1,000 if you dedicate £22 a month, £22.50, like the amount they're charging for the 17 Pro Max. You put £22.50 and then you compound it. Every month, you pretend as if you are actually buying the iPhone. But you're not. You're just putting it towards Apple. As someone who is gullible is buying the iPhone, you're actually profiting out of it. Now, instead of spending $215.76 that I spent on my iCloud, I could actually put that into a high yield savings account, or a government bond, or an ISA, or an investment in stocks ISA. It won't make you rich, but it grows instead of just disappearing. Instead of impulse buying gadgets and camping tents. Now, how about if you put that money towards real assets, stocks, property shares, even starting a side hustle? I mean, there's Vinted these days, there's eBay, there's endless opportunities that you can actually utilize. Now, these things can produce income and increase value over time. Now, here's a fact. If you had invested, let's say, £1,000 in Apple stocks in 2010, instead of buying the actual Apple iPhone, it would be worth more than $15,000 to this day. Now, yet most people are buying Apples or the Apple product instead of owning the piece of the phone. How about you own the piece of the company? You see the irony? That's exactly the mindset that we need to start building. Now, these systems are designed to keep you swiping, paying, consuming, because that's where companies thrive. But if you flip the script and start owning assets instead of just consuming products, you slowly move from being a customer to being a shareholder. Now, the next time the ad screams or they come to your screens, only £22 a month, ask yourself, do I want to keep buying liabilities, or should I start building wealth? Ladies and gentlemen, the truth is, if you are probably an immigrant right now and you're always buying stuff of Temu, of Amazon, and etc., maybe you may actually need to open a trading platform. I would suggest actually trading 212. It's one of the places I actually trade, and I can tell you this. All you need is just to make a direct debit of that amount of money you're about to pay for the iPhone, and you just direct it to your trading 212. Get dividends, or a dividend paying account, or a dividend paying stock. Then you get your money monthly, then you return your money, yet you still secure your investment. Why not do things differently than just putting your savings into an account that is not growing without interest? Ladies and gentlemen, I've said my piece, and I'm not advising anyone to go towards any company or not enjoy their lives. It's your life, but I just want you to ponder on this. In 20 years, will you be still holding the iPhone 17 Pro Max, or will you be having shares in iPhone or in Apple? Choice is yours. Till next time.